my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Has a note.
Hi. Welcome guys once again to our channel. If you're not subscribed, make sure you click on the subscribe button down below to subscribe, and also make sure you drop a like and comment on our videos. So today we have the humble Marvin. We had him last time, but we told him we're gonna have him next time with his girlfriend. So today he's with his current girlfriend Juju's. Sorry, I don't know whether you give us a little introduction to your um your new girlfriend.
Yeah, so I guess I kind of formally introduced her to the world when I posted my video where I was let go from the show, and then
Yeah.
I posted the updates of what we've done in our relationship so far, just little things, videos and pictures of some things. But this is my girlfriend, Jaleesa, aka Juju, aka they call me Ju. She We met literally the week after I was eliminated. I jumped in her DMs and we started kicking it, and it's just been a love story ever since. So
Wow. But a lot of people would have said that you just left a dating show and you're quickly jumping into another dating show. Sorry, to someone's DMs. It kind of looks as if you were just not really in the show. For you to just quickly from a dating reality show, you just got eliminated and you're back in someone's DMs.
yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about it this way. I went on the show with the right intentions. I was looking to see if I could find someone, and the show prepared me mentally to be in the mindset of dating. Like the lessons that I took from the show of dating with intentionality and standing by my non-negotiables and things like that. And when I met her, she fit perfectly, and I was in fact ready to love. So it's like, am I going to not take a chance on someone that could be my future wife, or am I going to take a chance on love, which is the whole point of me going onto the show in the first place? With all the craziness that happened on the show, and with how I was eliminated, I was in the mindset like, you're not going to tell me I'm not ready for love, and I know I am. And then I meet her, and then it's like, boom, I told y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I feel like the timing was perfect. The universe, everything happened for the way it was supposed to happen, because she and I couldn't be more happy right now, and the progress of our relationship and the goals that we've set for our relationship is right on track. And for like I said, the way the show ended and there being no real connections and things like that, which everybody knows by now at this point, and all the drama and all of this and that, like, we're the only love story, you know what I'm saying? And even though she wasn't on the show, I was on the show, and my mission was the same, even though I wasn't portrayed that way. And our relationship is a result of me being actually ready for love.
Okay, this question is for your girlfriend, right? Did you know when he sent you a DM, did you know he was from a reality TV show? Have you seen him on TV previously?
No, so by the time he introduced himself, the show hadn't aired, and I wasn't,
Okay.
someone who followed the show. He brought it up like after we kind of built some rapport. He brought up that, oh yeah, I'm about to film the reunion episode, because that was well after he, got done and was already eliminated in the recording process of things.
Mm.
So when he did reach out, and I was just like, oh, what are you recording? So then he, kind of told me then, but this was after we'd already kind of, started communicating in pretty often.
Okay.
Mhm.
Didn't you feel kind of awkward or have any certain kind of feeling knowing that you're dating somebody that is fresh off TV and he was on the show? He was on TV for love. He was chasing after love, and now he's he's in your DMs and you guys are chatting and you guys are trying to know each other. Didn't you kind of feel awkward?
Well, I think that we already had some mutual friends, and
Okay.
so it made it to where he didn't feel like a complete stranger because I don't respond to all my DMs, you know. But just in the process of us getting to talk to each other, I don't know. I didn't think too much about him being on TV, and it's like I don't watch a whole lot of television, and so I just didn't take it for what it was at the time where he
Yeah.
mentioned it. Now, when the show aired and we had been actually dating for a period of time, it was a different
Yeah.
story. Because now I'm watching
Okay.
you, speaking to these women, and I'm like, we would watch it together, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Like this was months ago. Like,
but yeah, it was all before I met him. So it was just it was interesting to see the process, and then now I'm sitting next to you watching how you were trying to get,
Going to all
other
these
people.
days.
that's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is back to you, Marvin. Let's talk about the reunion.
Okay.
Now, at the reunion, a lot of things, got, talked about and exposed. But I wanted to ask you one question. Why didn't you and Unique kind of work out? Because she at the reunion, I found out that she was really, I knew she was kind of, intrigued by your lifestyle and what you do from the show. But watching the reunion, I realized that she really, really was intrigued by it. So why didn't you pursue um that relationship, or you just didn't, because I'm pretty sure watching the reunion, I'm pretty sure that if you had gone for it, she would have been into it.
Yeah. I think it really just boiled down to the non-negotiables. Like I want to start my own family, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
and nothing against, of course, women with children, but I was in a relationship with a woman that had two children before, and that just wasn't a situation that I wanted to put myself in
To do
in a
again.
for a
Yeah.
relationship, just for multiple reasons. And even though we connected and the energy was there, I was actually like considering it, like you know what, maybe blah blah. But then when Tommy hit us with that non-negotiable, I was like, you know what, damn, I got to stay true to what I really wanted and how I dated before. Because even before the show, when I dated someone seriously, I dated a woman with no children. Because I want to be able to spend time and this and that, and just like I said, multiple reasons, things that I just don't want to have to deal with again, good or bad. But that was literally like the only determining factor that made me like just not really push forward, because I even
Sure.
said it in one of my interviews, like I gotta stand by what I really truly want, and I want to be able to spend you know I want to be able to spend as much time with my woman. Like we live together, you know what I'm saying? We together every day, we work together, we work out together. Like I want us to be together, and that's really hard with when you date a woman with smaller children, because number one, I don't want to be around smaller kids because I love kids. And if we don't work out, I'm gonna be heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I just didn't want to put myself in that position again. So getting with her, and like, all the boxes were just checked. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's literally like the only thing that really kept me from pursuing Unique.
So if she didn't have kids, you would have gone with Unique.
Yeah, I probably would have. I probably would have dated her more, and saw how it could have possibly developed for sure.
Okay. Um, how was it? That this is to your girlfriend. How was it watching the show? Now you've watched the show. Now you've watched the reunion. How is it that you saw that at least some ladies were like intrigued? Some ladies wanted to get Unique, especially wanted to, like, she was prepared to probably go into this lifestyle with him. How did you feel knowing that there was at least one lady that there would have been a possibility that the both of you wouldn't have met if he decided to pursue that, link or that bond he had with some of the ladies on the show?
You know, I was dating before, you know what I mean? So with the type of lifestyle that we live, I was already dating someone when he messaged me. Now it wasn't on a
Oh,
serious level enough, so it made it to where, I wasn't too offended, knowing that he was on the show and was doing his own thing. And I've met, a lot of his castmates. So I've actually,
mm,
met Unique before. So it's getting to like just have a conversation and just see, the real person outside of the what the TV show portrays people as just made
yeah.
it a lot more comfortable. Like she's cool people and a lot of the people on the show are cool. But I don't know, I wasn't too offended. Like I'm just like I'm out here dating too. Like I'm single, we're attractive. Like I'm not gonna act like there weren't other people who were interested in me at the same time he was interested. But just the way that the world works and what's meant to be, it's just like you kind of steer to what is
Yeah.
really for you. And the attraction was just so mutual that that's what fed everything to where it was just like we both kind of got into this bubble kind of space to where we weren't really interested in anybody else that we were at the time. And those people just kind of became absent and we just really invested in each other.
Okay. Marvin, I wanted to ask you about the reunion. There were some things that did happen in the reunion that was like wow, and it was very explosive. And I'm sure that more happened. We just had a little bit, and cuts and bits about what happened at the reunion. So I wanted to kind of ask. Firstly, let me ask this question now. How many of the cast are you still friends with as at today?
Um, Herbert just called me. Me and Chris are
Okay.
really, really cool.
Which of the
Me
Chris?
and Tequila and me and Kat are cool. Me and Tequila are probably closer friendship wise than any other ladies. Kat's coming to my birthday this weekend, this Friday. Unique is coming. Me and Herb are cool. Me and Phil from the same city, so we got that bond. And I've hung out at a couple of Reds events a few times, but mainly it's just like probably about 5 or 6 of them that we're still like we communicate pretty often and hang out every now and then. And I know Tequila, we'll see her. She's out of town right now, but we'll be hanging out with her when she gets back. So yeah, I walked away from the show with several friendships, man, and I'm thankful for it. And if anything, gaining friends from that experience and having people to that actually understand me and know me because of
Yeah.
they saw the real me, they saw the unedited version that the show portrayed, and for them to have taken to me the way they have and me to have taken to them, as far as our friendship, it's really cool, and I'm thankful for it.
So, I used to close to Lee because I know Lee was one of your connections in the show. I used to close to Lee, or are you guys in talking terms?
No, we haven't talked much. We follow each other on social media. But other than that, yeah, we haven't talked much. I still support her. She's an awesome person. You know what I'm saying? And I have nothing against her, obviously. But yeah, we just haven't talked much.
Okay. When you were mentioning all these people, you didn't mention people like Janelle, Quinton, Jessica. Is there like a special like I don't want to associate myself with them, or you just felt like you don't want to be cool with them because they might come off a certain way?
Yeah, I have no problems with Q. Me and Q had a conversation a couple weeks ago about a post, and we had it was a rational conversation, wasn't any drama or beef and everything. But I have no problem with Q. But the dramatic stuff, I stay away from. I stayed away from it on the show. I don't do drama. That's not what I went on the show for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I stayed away from reality TV all these years because I don't want to be involved and be in the same mention the same sentence with something that's that dramatic and chaotic, because that's not who I am. So the people that really fed into that stuff, and I definitely don't, I don't associate with them.
So now you said Tequila was your friend. How did you feel about the altercation that happened between Tequila and Janelle during the reunion?
Oh man, I they didn't show it, I don't think, but I talked to Jaquilla to help calm her down because Janelle throughout the whole evening was kind of picking at her, making comments about her feathers and her dress, and it got to a boiling point, where it just melted down, and then it just escalated super quick, So I pulled Tequila to the side, was touch talking to her. I'm like, look, readjust your crown. She likes that, she wants to push those buttons and get that kind of reaction. That's what she does. So I'm like, don't give her that, So and she felt me, and that's what brought her back down. But yeah, it was unfortunate because when someone knows how to push someone's buttons,
Mhm,
and
yeah.
that person doesn't realize that it's happening, and then to see it objectively, I'm just like, it was unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's the way she chose to act on the show, and I'm like, that's her. I just said I just don't have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And my friends, I want to help protect them from that kind of bullying
Yeah.
also. And also I spoke out about it on the show in the gentleman's lounge, but they didn't show it. They edited it out, and then I was eliminated after that gentleman's lounge too, because it was just it's a whole bunch of it was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of corrupted the process. And but the truth always comes out. People could see that the in the
Yeah.
later episodes the connections were fake, and people were just hanging on to the alliances, and hanging on to make it to the end, and this and that. And I was like, see, I told y'all. So that's why I say we're the only true love story from season 8.
you
She
you
must be on
you
the
had
show.
you had to say the connections were fake. What who are you trying to throw a jab to that the connections are fake when you
I
say
mean,
that?
it's not a jab. I mean, it's the truth, and I think one of the reasons why I was eliminated is because I spoke out and told the truth. You know what I'm saying? I saw the bullying. I said it was wrong. I told nephew Tommy that I don't agree with it and this and that. And then that was it. But I mean, the final connections. I mean, there was no real love when you see it. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
people aren't fooled, and you can. And here's the thing: we're not actors. We're not trained actors. We can't pull off.
Hmm. Yeah.
We can't pull off something that's not real. That's not genuine. So when we try and we don't have those acting skills, people see it clear as day. So that's why I stopped even commenting on things, because I'm like, the people are saying everything for me. What I'm saying, especially with the way my time on the show ended, how it ended, and being told, and I know that's the whole process. They tell you at the end you're not ready for love and this and that. But in my mind, of course, I'm like, yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just kind of laugh because and the crazy part about it is I text one of the producers when something happened in one of the dressing rooms that showed me that there was an alliance, and that there was something else going on under the table, that the
Going
process
on.
wasn't the process, and they ignored it. So I'm like, okay, if y'all gonna ignore it, then hey, just let your show be corrupted, and then people are fans are mad, ratings dropping, this and this and this and that. I mean, what I'm saying. So it is what it is. The truth comes to light always.
Yeah. I felt the same way that some of the couples, in short, we had three couples to the finale. I literally was glitching my eyes when I saw the final three. I was like, wow, this must be so real, because I never expected those couples to be the ones that would get to the end of the show, but they did.
Yeah,
So
nobody did.
I was so surprised. Like when, especially Quentin and Janelle, when they came out, when Quentin came after the reunion and said they were not together, I literally wasn't surprised. And for Morier, I can't even say anything for that, because I was like, okay, I wasn't expecting anything, because I never at the first instant, even during the reunion when they were like, oh, we're good, I was like, please tell the truth.
Yeah.
I love Jessica. I don't have any bad blood for Jessica, but I'm not really a big huge fan of Morier, because there's some things that he did on the show that I felt like he didn't handle it in the best way. So I wasn't really a big fan of his at all.
Mhm.
At all. But well, I also wanted to ask this question. Now that you're done with Ready to Love, now you're done with it. You're now with somebody that you literally care about. If you were caught up again and said, okay, would you love to come for a second go round for Ready to Love show? Would you be open to it?
At this point, nah, because I'm good. I got her, you know. But if I was single, I would knowing how they edited me and how they only showed me talking about BDSM and sex. I would save those conversations for the phone and just and focus on talking about things so they have nothing but to show me but me talking about the things that they took out that
Yeah,
I talked about. You know, like my love interest, my family, and just my story, like
yeah,
my other castmates. You know, you learned a ton about them, but only thing they
yeah.
showed me talking about was BDSM and sex and stuff like that. And that was only when I was asked about it. You know, I didn't just lead with those conversations. I was responding to the ladies' questions. So, you know, that's how they chose to my that's what path and what narrative they chose for me, and they stuck to it to the bitter end. Like, I was surprised they even showed me talking about her in my segment with nephew Tommy in the reunion, because I'm like, man. And then all my segments, you know, when they showed the flashbacks again, it was nothing but sex,
So,
nothing but BDSM. I'm like, dog, y'all just gonna ride until the wheels fall off, huh? You know, I'm like, there's clearly so much more to me than just what you're showing. But
yeah, that's
again,
just
you know,
that.
about
Yeah.
halfway through, I understood, you know, what they were doing and how they were gonna portray me on the show, and that they weren't gonna show anything other than that about me. And it was despicable.
How did you feel about this to your girlfriend? How did you feel watching the show? You know him, you know what he's capable of, you know the conversation he's able to hold. Now watching him and seeing that every single episode, they were trying to sell a narrative about him, that he was just into the BDSM, because I was not a huge fan of Marvin watching the show, because at one time I was feeling like whenever it came on my screen, I was just like, oh my God. He's about to talk about
I'm sure a lot of people were, because I got tired of hearing this. I'm like, damn, because you know, we talk about something else.
You
That
know,
I'll be like, he's about to talk about BDSM again. Like when he got removed from the show, I thank God. I was like, thank God this guy has finally left the show, because I got tired. I was like, this guy will literally make me hate BDSM, because the amount
yeah,
of time I hate BDSM, I would get irritated when someone tries to talk to me about BDSM, because he kept on hearing about, they kept on shoving it into our faces every day. He kept on talking about the BDSM. And one time,
yeah.
I think there was a panel that we had on Ready to Love. We had a panel review, and I can say everybody was literally bashing Marvin, like, why is he into BDSM? Like he lets us get tired of BDSM every single time. So for me watching the show, and they were talking about the show, we feel that bad watching it, and we kind of got pissed off by Marvin, the way he was represented on the show. You, his girlfriend, knowing what he's capable of, knowing how he is, getting to watch the show, seeing the way he was portrayed as someone that's probably into too much sex, or trying, or literally, for me, I said, like, he came to the show to sell himself as a dominant BDSM that was looking for a submissive. That was
yeah.
what I thought. And so, how did you feel watching that and seeing the way he was kind of, portrayed on the show?
You know, it's mixed feelings because I'm familiar with the lifestyle. I've been in it for years, you know, so it seeing how they focused just on that aspect of him, it's like I got to experience the real him. And I think the way that I see him typically is like he's a big kid. He's a big nerd. You know, he's into like sports and Comic-Con conventions and stuff. So it's like that's the side of him I know is like this real romantic person, you know, flowers for no
Yeah.
reason and just a lot of quality time, super affectionate, and you know, someone with you know, getting into love languages, someone that just showers you with words of affirmation and consistency in that way. So it's like to see just the BDSM aspect, I can understand how he felt shorthanded in them not really portraying his full character and his full nature. And then when you get into like social media and you see the viewer feedback of how everyone, for one, not everybody's familiar with BDSM and the lifestyle community. So you have all these stereotypes that people push, and some people are weirded out by it or creeped out by it. Some people are just turned off. And it's not something that we have to push on other people. It's not that, we're looking to recruit people to, to do something strange. It's just like either it's already a part of you or it's not. And so I think that was one of the main points that he would bring it up, because, okay, this is a reality dating show. This is my reality and how I date. And so even the conversation with us, it was, well, our lifestyle community and BDSM just falls under an umbrella of things. So even amongst us in dating, it was like, well, what are you into? And, he will ask me the same, what am I into? And there's still the conversation of deciding, like, are we a match, and does our alternative lifestyle even align? So I think it was really kind of a turn off, in just seeing how some people could take just that little portion of what they saw, because it's like you're filming for hours. The show is condensed into like this small segment, and then his part is of like a 5-minute window when he's having a 5-minute conversation, or a minute here, a minute there, and they built this whole idea of who he is, that it's just like, how true can that really be? So it's like I have to reel back from trying to like be this defending everybody who's just has the ugliest way of seeing somebody. And I realized that, how people view him based off of the show is typically more a reflection of themselves, or their limited capacity to really think beyond what they're being presented with. Because there is a lot more to him than what the show had to say. Now, don't get me wrong, the other side is there, and it's wild, but but there's a whole lot more on top of that.
I don't understand, because I think what even made me understand it more, because one of the panels were on, fortunately, somebody that was also into your lifestyle was also on the panel, but she said she understood where you were coming from. But the only problem she had was the way they made it look as if you were always talking about it, because she also was a dominant in the BDSM relationship, and she's very open about being on the lifestyle. But she was like, but I know I'm into this, but I don't think I would be doing this every time. Every conversation I'm having, I'm just being like, okay, yeah, I'm in BDSM. I'm like, and the way some of the conversations, whenever they were doing the chopping and editing, I think the producers were just being mean. Because some of the conversations, you would just be like, how did we get to this
That's
conversation?
real.
The editing was horrible, man. Like they picked and choose, different sections of conversations and mixed things up, and superimposed audio from other parts of conversations over pictures of different reactions. Like it was bad, man. And like my voice, if you like really listen to it, my vocal texture changes through some of those conversations, because I was talking differently at one point, and they mixed it into a earlier portion where my vocal texture wasn't the same. And it's just like, you guys don't even care about the consistency in that, so it sounds like a fluid conversation. So like I said, I was shocked, and a lot of my castmates felt the same, that the editing was horrible, because of course I wasn't the only one they chopped up like that. But mine was bad.
I think another person or another group of people that suffered through editing, Chris and Jessica, I think they did suffer through that chopping and everything, and they were just trying to be confusing, because I felt like that issue they had between them, it could have easily been resolved if the truth was just played out for everybody to see how it was. So I think they also suffered through editing, and the producers were actually producing or cooking up something on in the studio, and I just like, I'll be like, conversations didn't make sense. Like the conversation when you were having a conversation with Lee, and all of a sudden you started talking about whipping, and I literally have forgotten what you were talking about. I was like,
They just pull it out of nowhere, and it's like, like I said, the only time I started talking about that stuff was when I was asked.
I was like, if I was in this conversation, I would have checked out. Truthfully,
Yeah, absolutely.
I would have checked out because I don't think I want to be hearing about that. So, but I guess when I talked to you previously, like I kind of understood that okay, yeah, these producers, and at one time during the show, we kind of understood that. I think the producers were just purposely like they just be like, okay, this person, this is the storyline we want to go with you, or
Yep.
Quentin, this is the storyline we want to go with you, Janelle, this is the storyline we want to go with you. This guy, and they stick by it.
Yeah, and they edit it,
Whether
and they put it on a storyboard and just edit it, and that's the storyline they stick with because they did not deviate
It
at
made
all.
it so inorganic. Like it felt like, because
yeah,
I didn't, although I heard about the show, in his recording, but when I actually got to watch it, I was like, this looks so fake. Like it just didn't give a natural vibe. Like nothing
yeah,
felt natural about it. And so even with like, I know people are going to ask about BDSM, like if you've never heard of it, you've never really been in that world, like people are going to ask, like
mhm,
that's normal.
yes,
But
normal.
but the way that the conversation would be so cut, and it's like, he could say a question or a sentence, but they'll use a reaction from like 5 minutes later for the other person to respond. So it wasn't like the immediate back and forth dialogue.
Response, yeah.
And it was just it was so weird. But I think with that, it gave me a whole new idea of what reality TV is, because it's not really real, but you don't know how controlled it
How
is.
unreal.
Right. So
Yeah.
it turned me off just to know like that's how they were pushing it, because even meeting all his castmates outside of the show, it's like you get a different vibe and a different essence of who they are than whatever storyline they had on the show.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I forgot to ask you. What about you and Kira? Do you guys have a relationship? Because I know you also had this talk with her, and she was one of the ladies they made us believe. I don't know whether it was true. Made us believe that she was kind of, you know, pushed off over the BDSM stuff. Do you guys have a connection or a friendship
Yeah, with
outside
me and
the
Kara are
show?
cool. Yeah, she's coming to my birthday party Saturday, Friday night. We're cool. We had a good genuine connection on the show also. Her concern early was the confusion about the whole me wanting to move to St. Thomas, and because
Yeah.
she has family and everything like that. But I told them, I'm like, listen, that is future goals, but I made those goals without having a significant other to consider.
In
So it's
mind,
like,
yeah.
okay, so I'm like, okay, baby, this is what I want to do for the future. Where do how do you see yourself in that? Or how can we edit this so
Picture.
you fit in seamlessly? You know what I'm saying? I hadn't had that conversation. I just made my plan because I was single. So when they understood that, they were like, okay, that makes more sense. And she and I, we had our phone conversations, and we had we didn't do a solo date. No, we did a couple group dates. But it was just like friendship vibes. You know what I'm saying? And it's held true to today.
I love Kira.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She is she has such a great energy, just such a positive, lively person. Like you definitely can't help but smile and just have fun when she's around. No, she's definitely a good person.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question because sometimes the way they portray some relationships, some friendships, it looks as if you guys are outside enemies right now. We also and in the reunion, I got to understand her perspective when it came to her and Morie's issue about the blackness. So the producers really did a very bad job representing some of you guys on the show.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
before we wrap up, I want to ask, um, are you still interested? Like you've done reality TV show. This is not ready to love. You get you know, another reality TV show. Would you be interested to like dive into it? Another reality TV show, not ready to love.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. It was fun. I mean, I did enjoy the process. I enjoyed the filming. I enjoyed recording the interviews and different things like that. The process was fun, and it tested. Like I knew it was edited, so It's like for example, in the interviews that we had, I would talk and and answer their questions, and if I didn't like how something came out, how I said it, I'd pause for a second and then I'd re-say it, but it didn't matter because I didn't use it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But that part of the process was fun. And then, of course, like I said, meeting people and learning their stories and gaining friendships and networking with different people and things like that. It's a lot that's involved other than just the show aspect. So yeah, I would definitely do it again. I would just really want to make sure it's on a show that doesn't, trick me and portray me as something completely different than I actually am. You know what I'm saying? Because in the beginning of the interview process, they were all excited and they were asking me about my relationship goals and what I wanted to do and my past and this and that. And of course, they asked me a lot about my lifestyle and this and that. But it never dawned on me that they were just going to focus solely on that. You know what I'm saying? So going on another show, I would want to be sure that they actually show who I am.
No, we've definitely have had conversation and knowing that there are other opportunities out there. Because like you mentioned once before, people have this opinion about people self-promoting, when it comes to being on the show. And it's like, if you have someone who's an entrepreneur, it's just in them, it's kind of hard to not speak to your craft and to speak to your business when it's your passion. So having the opportunity to be on a platform and being able to, to share information and educate people and expand your brand is only, common sense. It's not like you're going to be hush hush about it. So, with there being another, opportunity to be on a show of any form, whether it be dating or otherwise, because we're pretty much an open book. And even with us working on our podcast to talk about our relationship dynamic and just the community in general, it's going to be interesting and entertaining for a lot of people. So it's like bringing up those kinds of things is like, taboo, but it could make for good TV, which is why he got portrayed the way that he did, because they see that it makes for good TV.
Right.
For good TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you said that you guys might really consider being in another reality TV show, but now that the show is over and people see you on the road, you're going out and people are like, oh, this is Marvin from, Ready to Love. People recognize you guys. And now you have a girlfriend, and you as a girlfriend, watch people recognize him. And some people still have that mentality from the edited version of the show that, oh, this guy, the one that is so much interested in the BDSM stuff, that was trying to push his BDSM business and whatnot. Do you have you, had that kind of, interaction where people just stare at you and be like, oh, and she's the one dating his guy that is so much into, yeah, like, so much into BDSM. Like, how does she handle him?
I think about it because typically when we've been out, they recognize him, immediately, or they may stare and be shy and timid to ask. But once they say, were you on the show? They don't necessarily ask about the BDSM stuff, but it does cross my mind that, oh my gosh, they're probably thinking like the wildest of things. Because we could be at the grocery store.
It happened today.
We could be in the gym. We've been out of town just getting breakfast, like after, going out, and we're at Waffle House. And so it's the most oddest of moments, and I love it for him. You know what I mean? Like, I love that he can get the recognition. I love seeing the excitement of someone like recognizing him and him just being able to have that interaction. But I don't insert myself too much because I wasn't on the show. I don't know how much they see his social media to know, who I am in his life and whatnot. So, but it's definitely exciting because I'm like anyone should be, like, I'm gonna be his biggest fan, so I help promote his events. I help push the content. And I will say that there was though we started dating before the show aired, there came a point where we had to remove everything from social media. So when the show aired, it wouldn't taint the process of the viewers being able to see, and I, of course, had a conversation of like, okay, so you're about to be this sex symbol on public TV. And, you know, I was just like, once the ladies start reaching out and trying to inquire and get more information, they're thinking you the single man and all this kind of stuff.
Yes.
I was like, let's keep it respectful. You know, I mean, I don't, you know, I know that they don't need to know of me, but, you know, act accordingly. And, you know, people are going to inquire, and then you get those who want to throw themselves at you and act interested on a business thing, but they're really looking for something more intimate. So it's like, it was going to happen. And so it's like, he knows how to handle it. He knows how to take care of it. And, you know, it's just kind of interesting to see the fans that came of his time on the show. Yeah.
But now a lot of people are seeing you more in a positive light, because at least you were one of the people that didn't have so much drama during the reunion. You were saying that you were close to Chris, and I was asking you, which of the Chris? Is it Chris Niger King or the other Chris?
Yeah, Nigerian Chris. No, me and Ruffin are cool too. You know, I don't, you know, we chat every now and then, but me and Chris are probably the closest out of all of us. Yeah. Well, for as far as me and my other castmates, but yeah, Chris is a good guy.
Okay. Now that everything is done, reunion is done. I know you said you have your birthday. I've actually seen your ad on Instagram. But do you once in a while get comments like, people don't really know about BDSM, and you were very open with it. So many people do this lifestyle, but they are hidden. Like, they hide it. It's not something they come outside to, be open about. Now you're very open about it. Do you sometimes get comments like, what the hell are you doing? This is something that should be indoors in your house after closing the doors. Do you get this kind of comment? And how do you deal with it? Knowing that, okay, from a perspective of you've been on the show, a lot of people know you go out and people could recognize you, and you're still very open, and you do shows that we know that it's all about that lifestyle, and you literally publicly advertise that, okay, I am doing the show. You put it on Instagram and people see this. Do you get people looking at you, or people coming to your comment sections or your DM being like, this shouldn't be like up here, it's not something that should be very out like that. It's something that should be hidden. If it's your passion, if it's something you kind of love, like, love it by yourself indoors. Don't be putting it in our faces.
Yeah, it's I don't really get comments like that. People in like on YouTube videos and the Ready to Love fan group on Facebook, there's been comments like that. But when people message me, it's the people that are messaging me that love what I do, that support what I do. And I've gotten a lot of people that defended what I do, even initially on some of the social media groups. When people were talking about me being an author, people that love to read books, defended me like he's an author. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wrote a whole book, and so it's like I love the fact that the literary community supported me. The people that are in the BDSM or alternative lifestyles, they defended like, okay, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Don't judge this man because of, he's living in his truth. And that's what I'm gonna do. Life is too short to not live in my truth. And if anything, I'm gonna love who I am, and I'm gonna live as I am, and like I said, in my truth. So if I can't do that, and at the same time, I do understand that not everybody is able to live in that truth, because of your family, religious, works, whatever the case, and which is why the word discretion exists in the first place. I get it, but for me, it's like, with me being an erotic author, how can I be an erotic author and then hide the fact that I'm a dom? I write about it in my books. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna live what I write about, and vice versa. So that's me living in my truth. So for me, it's like I accept myself for who I am in every part of me. So
I definitely see the comments, and I it's like I want to run to defend him, but it's like I refrain from wanting to get in a back and forth battle with people, because at the end of the day, it's like people have this idea that they're their own values need to be placed on other people. Like if I think that it's a behind closed door thing, then everyone else needs to act and behave that way. And that's just not the way that the world works. Like if it's not for you to be public about it, then for yourself, don't be public about, what it is that you do. But if we choose to, then that's just a decision for ourselves. And like you said, we just can live in our truth without any fear of knowing just exactly who we are. But, I've seen comments like someone, I think just last week, watched one of our other interviews and was saying, for a targeted me. I think it was the first time I heard someone say something about me who was just like, she probably has low self-esteem and all this other kind of stuff. And it's just interesting because that's one of like the most common stereotypes about someone who would be in this lifestyle and have the ability or the means to share their partner with somebody else. And honestly, it's always quite the contrary, where you have to be so secure in yourself in order to come into this community, and you have to know who you are so firmly in order to really enjoy the experience. I'm not going to say that there aren't people who have, emotional issues and their own things, but that's not just here. That's across the board with any type of relationship dynamic. So it's just interesting how people take their own issues, their own values, and then push them on somebody else and make it feel as though the other person's wrong for not being as how you see fit. And I'm one of those that I just think that to each their own. Like everybody should have the space to be themselves without me infringing on your freedom and me infringing on your way of doing something because it's not how I would do it.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. But I get where people come from because it just is what it is. But it's like, who's making the rules? Like for someone to say that it's supposed to be a conversation for, behind closed doors, who made that rule? Like it's not a real thing. Like, so if someone wants to do otherwise, then it's their freedom and their choice to do so. And it's just that.
And I always tell people, you can always keep scrolling. Like if you don't like it, keep scrolling. If I don't like something on social media, I keep scrolling. I don't comment and say I don't like this.
I block this kind of content not to be shown to me.
Yeah, you can hide content, you can X stuff out if you don't want to see it, X it out. But the people that rock with it are gonna rock with it, and it's just that simple. But we live in a society where everybody's got an opinion and everybody wants to project their and announce their opinion, even when it's not even necessary. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't do that. Like, I don't care enough to. If it's something I don't like, I just keep it moving. But a lot of people don't have that self-control to be able to say, yeah, that's kind of messed up, but that has nothing to do with me. So I'm gonna just chill. Everybody's got to put their 2 cents in and all this stuff. But and again, that's one of the main things on social media nowadays. So it just is what it is.
Everybody wants to always talk. I'm one person that if I'm scrolling through the internet and I see something that is I don't like, I don't want to ever see it, I just block those kind of things so that they never recommend those kind of things to me. I never see it,
right?
And I
it's
don't
that
have
simple.
to talk about it. I don't have to. I don't know how to go into comment sections and be like, "Oh, you have to do this." I believe that every single person has their own life and live it. My own belief is whatever lifestyle you're living, whatever lifestyle I'm living, don't try to force me to live your lifestyle, which I would not try to force you to live my own lifestyle. We can individually live our lifestyles and still respect who we are as human beings. So I don't believe in always talking about, but I know that when people start doing things because it's classified out of the norm. When people start doing things that are out of the norm, everybody will always want to like comment, be like, okay, what's this? Like, I'm like, okay, because I was intrigued by you when you talked about the BDSM stuff. I was like, wow, this is gonna be fun, until they kind of took out the fun for me at the editing. So I was intrigued by you, but the fact that it made me learn a lot because having to watch the show, having to have you talk about it a lot, I literally had to start trying, because I was like, okay, is this how it's really done? I had to go and try to get more details about the BDSM stuff, and I just realized at the end of the day it was just the editors that were just doing a very bad job. And when I followed you on Instagram and I saw it, I was like, okay, I just feel like he was just misunderstood. But I guess a lot of us are seeing that. And you have your birthday going on. Like, just give us a brief through what the things that you have coming up um now in your life.
Well, this Friday is my birthday, October 13th, and I'm celebrating with the BOA experience. To the theme is Herogasm. It's a superhero themed costume party. They didn't show it on the show, but I make costumes, and like she said, I go to Comic Cons. I have this whole black nerd life about me that I love, and so for my birthday, it was only appropriate that I do a superhero themed costume party. So I've got some of my friends that are performing. They're black poets in Dallas. They're extremely talented. It's going to be a great show. And then
Sorry, let me continue. You
uh-huh.
said it's hero gasm. Is there going to be a lot of gasms?
Well, it's called yeah,
Because
it's called
when
Herogasm. Yeah, it's called
you wait
Herogasm,
the
but it's
name,
a
you'll be
poetry
like,
night.
okay,
Yeah, it's a
okay,
poetry art night, evening for the erotic arts. So erotic music, poetry, and I'm reading my short story. So there isn't anything like that going on. You know what I'm saying? It's literally an evening for the erotic arts. You know, we have erotic poets. Like I
okay.
said, I perform my music, and then I read one of my shorts. But I've been doing audio stories. So I recorded an audio book version of my story, then I play the sounds, then I narrate over top of it. So it's a completely different experience than just, someone
Okay.
just sitting there reading a story. So it's a lot of fun. And it really gives you a better picture of what's happening in the narration in the story. And then we're having a costume contest. I'm sponsored. I have a little sponsorship with KinkyHut.com. So we'll be giving away toys, and I'm raffling off my book and books. And I make superhero costumes, like I said, so I'm going to raffle off a helmet. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And
No,
then,
because
yeah,
whenever I see it on your Instagram, I'll be like, well, what kind of party would this be like? Would it
yeah.
be fun? Like, would there be a lot of things going on? Because when you weigh the name, truthfully, when you weigh the name, you'll be like,
Yeah.
something else must be going on in this party, not just
Well, nah,
partying.
Hero Gasm. There's a show on Amazon called The Boys. It's about superheroes, and
Yes, the
there's an
voice,
event
yes.
called Herogasm. That's where I got it from. Uh, but that's not happening at my show. My show is the Bo Experience. And like I said, it's erotic poetry and music and short stories and things like that. So it's for people to come listen to and just do something different on a Friday night. You understand? People go to
Yeah.
clubs and bars, strip clubs, and this and that every time. We get a lot of couples that come to my show, so they can enjoy a sexy environment and hearing these
Mm-hmm.
awesome poets perform, and then they go home and they do whatever they do after that. But at my show, it's about the arts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's nice. So, guys, if you are interested or you're in town, you could join his party on Friday, right? The birthday
Yeah,
party is on
Friday night.
Friday.
Yep. Tickets at
So,
bullaerotica.com.
have you guys started up your podcast? Because the last time we spoke, you said you're trying to do a podcast. So,
Yeah.
have you guys started up the podcast?
No, we haven't launched the podcast yet. We had a little technical difficulty, so we have to re-record it. But we found a new facility, and we're going to start recording it at the end of this month.
So, what platform is it going to be on? YouTube, Instagram, Twitter?
Yeah, our YouTube channel is boa.erotica, and our episodes we posted on there. It's Love and Lifestyle Podcast. So we'll be talking about the love relationships dynamics, and then we'll also be talking about the alternative lifestyle dynamics and how they mesh, and helping people navigate both dynamics together and separately. And we'll have guests and friends on, and people in our community, so we can educate people. It's really about the education and understanding, because that's what causes a lot of rejection of anything in this world when you don't understand it. People reject what they don't understand. So our goal is
Mhm.
to help educate people. So even if you're not interested in exploring the life, at least you have an understanding of what it is. And then for
Yeah.
the people that are interested, and the couples that are interested in joining and learning, then they can take what they learn from our podcast home and enrich their own love lives.
I guess I'll be joining that podcast because I'm trying to like understand the lifestyle. It's intriguing, so I guess I'll be kind of joining the podcast to like understand what it takes to really be on the BDSM way. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for honoring this, invitation. Thank you. This is Marvin and his new girlfriend. They've been dating for how many months now?
5. Yeah.
Since May.
May. Cinco de Mayo is when we made it official.
They've been dating for 5 months now, so it's a privilege to have you in our channel today, talking about your relationship and everything about the show. Thank you for joining us, and guys, those that have been watching the video, thank you very much for watching with us. Thank you for liking, and thank you for also subscribing because I believe you guys are gonna subscribe, and also make sure you go subscribe to um his YouTube channel. Could you tell us your YouTube channel again so that those that want to subscribe can go subscribe to your YouTube channel?
It's the same as my Instagram. It's boa.erotica. Body of Adonis erotica. That's what boa erotica is. Yeah, but
So you can literally
boa.erotica is
go to
the
you can go to his Instagram and also subscribe to his YouTube channel because I
yeah.
will surely be subscribing because I want when the podcast drops, I want to be amongst the first people that would share what they have to say to
For
say
sure.
about BDSM. Well, thank you very much, guys, for joining us once again. It's been a privilege to actually have a chat with you guys. Thank you very much, Juju. You were as in,
Thank
like you're very
you.
pretty.
Thank you.
You're pretty and very nice.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for joining
Thank you
us
for having
today.
us.
It was a pleasure
See you
being on.
guys.
All right.
See you.
See you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.